Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're checking in. This is Matthew Corin for our monthly Spirit in Transition update. Welcome and hello to my Spirit in Transition community. It's been a while since I've done a video update. I've been doing my monthly newsletters, as always, written, but I decided to get back into video because I feel like that's a better way to convey this really important message. And I have to give a warning here. This video does not contain the messages that you've been hearing over and over again from your Facebook wall and the corporate media, or most other sources caught up in the emotion of this tumultuous time in the USA. For the life of me, I can't ever be a commentator solely on current events because I'm always observing from a much larger perspective. It's a curse, trust me. So I'll say this. In certain ancient civilizations, your community might have prepared you for transformation via certain rites of passage. These rites were important to the psychological development of the individual and vital to the survival of the greater community culture. Rites of passage often require that one sees the world as completely different or seemingly backwards, or they were a sort of near death experience. The idea was that the stress of the rite of passage would inspire the individual to open up to new ways of seeing the world via imagination, visioning, and healing. Why were these rites so important? Because they taught you that the world is not what it appears to be. These wisdom holders were preparing their people for reality. Modern people might call these rites of passage a type of spiritual practice with little relevance to daily life. But what about your experience isn't spiritual? Transformation is reality. The proof is your lived experience right now. Call that a real experience or call that a spiritual experience. The point is that you're either prepared for it now or you're not. While it's not my nature to be out in large crowds making a show of protesting loudly, I do take actions every day to support the kind of world that I want to live in. One that is peaceful, joyful, equitable, expressive, connected, and free. I do support everyone out there peacefully standing up for the rights of all people to live free in our country, unencumbered by racist actions and systems of oppression that need to be dismantled so our society can move forward in a way that gives everyone the same chances to live, love, and thrive. One of my core values is freedom, and at one time I thought that meant I needed to be able to stand on my own, dependent on no one. The wisdom of years and many mistakes has taught me that true freedom is being able to trust others to have your back, so you can create together the kind of world we all want to live in. True freedom will only come from working together, one nation, under God, indivisible. Every moment was an opportunity to claim your freedom back then, and it is now, because every moment requires awareness, discernment, and clarity. Life lived this way is transformative, as every action you take has power. That's why you need to meditate more, so less stuff happens that you have to deal with every day. Otherwise, it's exhausting. But seriously, if you are comfortable, you are not paying enough attention. And I don't mean right now, I mean always and at all times. What you are resisting by sliding into comfort and inertia is the inevitable flow of human progress and evolution unfolding right before your very eyes. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, as they say. In this world of transformation, the world in which we are all living, our greatest service is attending to our own evolution and healing. Your DNA contains the light code to your spiritual gifts, which unlock this healing potential. So get a life activation ASAP. Activate.spiritintransition.com. That's my quick, shameless plug. So the greatest gift you can give is reuniting with your own wholeness. Wholeness is the state of being that results when you apply the principle of unity to your life. Until you act on that commitment for yourself, experiencing it within, you will not see the wholeness reflected outside of you. How can you see unity without if you don't have the lived experience of it within? That's why wisdom traditions from time immemorial have stated that you must go within. The kingdom of God is within, says Jesus. Enlightenment is within, says the Buddha. The Tao, or the Way, is contained within all things. Or like this Jewish philosopher said, God is a unity, unlike any other possible unity. Maimonides. So find unity, and you will find peace. So what can you do right now? Well, I don't think a man who has enjoyed the privilege being a white male in society is your go-to for that kind of advice right now. So I'm paraphrasing Callie Ladd, a Portland Business Journal 40 Under 40 and Wisdom and Woman of Influence honoree, who recently spoke publicly in Portland, and this is a summary of her remarks, with some very limited paraphrasing inside. Neuroscience and psychology and child development all tell us that we can create a new narrative, but we need to be careful to do this intentionally rather than reactively. Our brains are incredible, miraculous things that can be wired and rewired by our words and our actions. It's called neuroplasticity. The science tells us that children are not born hating other children or rendering certain people invisible. This happens over time. You see every circumstance as a data point that forms an idea. Watching a black boy in preschool get kicked out of class repeatedly is a data point. Pretending as though the founding of this country did not come at the hands of genocide is a data point. Silence in the aftermath of a killing is a data point. And these data points form ideas, and these ideas begin to cluster and form schema, and the schema dictates behavior. We are developing racist schema and reinforcing racist ideas in our minds when we fail to talk about racism, when we fail to tell the truth about history, when we fail to point out injustice, whether it's overt or covert. So you see, when we put truth at the center of our lives, our comfort or discomfort become less and less important. That was Callie Ladd. And I'll say it's time to take a look at our narrative. The narrative is the story you tell about your lived experience. It colors your worldview, your thoughts, and your actions. The narrative is something that we go over quite extensively in the 2-day Empower Thyself course, because it's so important that we look at this if we are to find empowerment in our lives. The question I would ask you is, are you creating unity and connection with others? Or are you creating distance and separation? Is the process of dismantling racism the way that you're actually creating more separation or more union? It's just a question. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not here to judge, I'm just here to ask. When you argue with people or get angry at current events, is your intention to build understanding and bridge ideologies to restore unity? Or are you actually furthering separation through violence? I don't know. Only you can answer that question for yourself. The answer is the kind of world you want to live in, because it's the kind of world that you're creating. So, start telling yourself the truth. Start telling others the truth. Be compassionate and forgiving, and trust others to do the same, even if you know that they won't. It's all part of the journey of this transformation. Above all, heal yourself to a state of wholeness, and the world will follow. I'd leave you with some words from the Dhammapada. Look within, be still, free from fear and attachment. Know the sweet joy of the way. Be well, my friends, stay healthy, and make a heartfelt prayer for what you want to bring in. Go in peace to love and serve.
Why you got nothing to